What's up, traders? Zach here from the Trading Network. I hope you guys are doing well. I am back with yet another weekly market profile forecast for both the ES and NQ futures markets. So we're going to dive right in here, starting with the NQ session profile first and foremost. What I'm going to be looking at moving into the beginning of this week is going to be reaction to Friday's profile, and generally speaking, reaction to last week's value area. So we'll get to the weekly value area shortly here, but most immediately upon open tomorrow, I'm going to be looking at whether or not we can get acceptance above Friday's high, and if so, I think it's very likely that we get a move up to this naked POC, which is last Thursday's point of control at 12,281. So my thought is acceptance above 12,080-ish likely gets us a move up to 12,109, and a move above 109 probably gets us a test of 136 pretty quickly after that. And then the next major level I would be looking for price to move towards is once again into this naked POC up here at 12,281, which is Thursday's POC. So if we do get acceptance, that's where I'm looking for upside. And if we do not get acceptance above Friday's high, then I will be looking for a test of value area high from Friday, which is 11,978. If we can not get acceptance or hold above 978, very, very likely we move back down into 11,921, which is the overnight low from the March 9th into 10th overnight session, extended trading hours session. So depending on the reaction to that Thursday into Friday overnight low at 921, we'll open up some levels to the downside, between 850 and 860. So if we do get a rejection and can't hold above 11,920, then look for a move down into 11,860, which is the initial balance low from Friday. And we have the point of control from Friday just 10 points below that at 11,851 as well. And a break below that very likely gets us a move to Friday's value low at 828. And then you can see the low here at 795. So you can see that or hear that the way that I treat these levels, especially for those of you guys new to the channel, new to these weekly market profile forecasts, is it's basically like, level dominoes, liquidity dominoes. If this level gets broken, then you are very likely to see price moved here, here, and here. And, if this level gets broken, you're very likely to see price move down here, and same for the upside. So that's why the market profile is such an important tool in my arsenal, because it tells us where price is likely to go. And I promise you, even if you don't trust it enough to trade it yet, that's okay. Just simply mark up these levels and watch how price moves and gravitates to and from them, and uses these profile levels on a daily basis to give us high probability trade opportunity. So with all of that said, let's move on over into the weekly market profile for NQ. And you can see that, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the value area low for last week is going to be a very important line in the sand level moving forward. That is 11,965. If we cannot hold 11,965, it is very likely that we move into this 11,795 level right here, which was Friday's low, which we were just looking at a moment ago. So acceptance above or holding above 965 likely gets us a move back up to this 12,090-ish level. That is last week's, or not last week's, but the prior week, the week of February 27th's point of control. So that is going to be an area that I'm going to be looking for a larger move to if we do get some bullish price action and see buyers step in. Now, if we can move and hold above 12,091, then you can see that we have the monthly volume composite point of control right here, right around the 12,170 level. So that's going to be a major area. If we do see, some upside pressure, we're only about 170 points away from that right now. So, that is well within what NQ can take care of in a session, and really in minutes when it comes down to it. So with that said, we are between some very important areas. A move above this area, this is a pretty important area. If we move and hold above this, then this is going to open up some pretty strong bullish price action, in my opinion, up to these higher levels. But you can see that we have last week's point of control at 185, lining up with the volume composite point of control within about 20 points of each other. And we also have the value area high from last week at 12,151. there as well. So there's some good confluence. We can draw a zone really between all of these levels, and these are what I'm going to be keeping an eye on the upside. And once again, it is a bit further, but if we do see, you know, an op zone, a long op zone start to form, for example, and really start to, you know, change behavior from Friday, that's where I'll be looking. So with that said, let's move on over to the ES profile. It's going to be pretty similar here. You can see that currently on ES, we are indeed trading above value from Friday, above 39.0375. So move and hold above that likely gets us a test of Friday's high. And if we can move and hold above Friday's high, which again has some great confluence here between a lot of levels, and I can even pull that down here. So you can see we have Friday's high at 39.3475, Thursday's value low at 39.3825, and then we have the Thursday into Friday overnight high at 39.4175. So move and hold above this zone likely gets us a move up to this naked POC, in my opinion, on ES, which is very similar to the naked POC that we have on NQ from Thursday. So we have naked POCs from Thursday on both ES and NQ. There's good confluence there. So if we see some buying pressure, if we see moving and holding above 39.35-ish, then look for a larger move on ES up to 39.95. And this generally 4,000 area is going to be an important one to watch reaction at. So a move and hold above 4,000 very likely gets us a test of Thursday's high, and then into some higher levels such as 40.50 and further, which we will look at shortly on the weekly profile. If we cannot move and hold above the value area high from Friday at 39.0375, I'm going to be looking for a move most immediately into Thursday's low at 38.8425, and then we have Friday's IB low at 38.77. If that breaks, look for a move down into Friday's point of control at 38.6375. And then we have a couple more levels down here, the value area low at 56 and the range low at 46.25. So those are some good levels to target. Now, as always, I like to give you guys some real world examples. So let's say that, you know, we do get some selling pressure upon open tomorrow. Let's say we open up right here, right where we are right now, and we see selling pressure, okay? Let's say that we see price break below 39.03 and then come back up to retest it and then put in some bearish divergence after a break below and a rejection of that level. That's where I would consider getting into a short and targeting that 38.8425 level, right? And you could simply put a stop loss above 39.0375, as you know that if price moves back above this level, it's very likely that we are going back to retest 39.0950 and 39.15. So that is just a quick example of how you can utilize these market profile levels while you are trading in real time on a daily basis in the markets. Alrighty, so time to check out the ES weekly profile. A pretty similar situation to NQ, except the one difference is that we are entirely below the weekly profile from February 27th, whereas if you look at the NQ weekly profiles, we are actually within value from the last 3 weeks. So that is a bit of a difference here. We are below the week from February 27th weekly profile and the week from February 20th. So a little bit of bifurcation there and something to keep an eye on. If ES struggles to get back into these weekly profiles, that can be something that we can use to take advantage of for further downside trade opportunity. With that said, I will be looking to see whether or not we can get acceptance back into these prior weekly profiles. So above 39.31 is going to be one of my most immediate areas of interest on the weekly profile. If we can get back into this profile here, I'll be looking for a move up to 39.41, 39.47, and then 62. And a move and hold above 62 very likely gets us a move back to last week's point of control here at 39.8625, which is right around the monthly volume composite point of control, as well as the point of control from the weekly profile of February 27th. So there's some great confluence here between 3 point of controls, essentially, within about, call it 5-6 points of each other, something along those lines. So that's going to be a very important area, and we could possibly use that as a target if we do see upside pressure, even if we wait for price to get all the way back into value from the week of February 20th and, look for a long from 39.62 up to 39.90-ish. So once again, just a little bit of a real world example of how you might be able to utilize these levels and use this technical information to guide you in a high probability trade opportunity. All right, so before we wrap up here, I just want to show you guys what I'm looking at on the daily and weekly charts. On the daily chart, the main thing that I want to point out here is that we are looking at some potential volatility expansion. So for what it's worth, the BBWP, you can see here, when this is an indicator that we will be releasing as a part of the Trading Network Volatility Pack very soon, very likely within the next week or two. And what this does is show when volatility is contracted and looking to expand, and when volatility on the flip side is expanded and looking to contract. So you can see that volatility is contracted. Now, when we have the BBWP crossing the moving average to the upside, that signals a likely expansion in volatility. And you can see when that especially is combined with, oscillator confluence, that gets us very nice moves. So you can see here, volatility expansion. Look at this very strong move to the downside. More volatility expansion, crosses to the upside, finally gets that move, and boom, expansion to the upside. Volatility, oscillators curl and cross to the upside, boom, expansion to the downside. You see the pattern here? Volatility, oscillators cross to the upside, boom, expansion to the upside. And this is on a daily chart, and I use this tool on, every single chart, every single asset that I trade, because it is imperative that you are keeping an eye on volatility and what it is likely to do. So you can see here, most recently, we had this curl cross up as the oscillators were moving to the downside, and we had this move of about 287 points on ES. And if we get, a similar move here, we're looking for a move back up to this swing high. So that's what I wanted to point out. We are in a bit of a daily range here. You can see the range extensions down here. And that is something that I wanted to just point out so you guys can keep an eye on it as well. So very similar situation on the NQ daily chart as far as the volatility oscillators go. You can see that we are at a 1.67 read, which is volatility, basically telling us that volatility is absolutely crushed. And price is like a rubber band. When it is contracted like that, it can only be contracted for so long before it expands. And when, on the flip side, price is expanded, it can only be expanded so far before it contracts once again. And price is just in a cycle of expanding and contracting volatility continuously. And by using these tools, we can take advantage of those signals. So with that said, that is what I'm looking at on the daily chart. Be looking out for an expansion in volatility. Which direction? We are not sure. It's possible that we are using these prior highs right here as support. You can see this right here. This could be a support resistance flip, so keep that in mind, but do not get too strongly attached to one side. Just wait for price to come to our major levels and see what kind of reaction we get, but stay very flexible. Just know that it is very likely that we are going to get a big move this week. So with that said, let's hop over to the weekly chart. So I'm going to show you guys ES first. You can see we had a really, really strong bearish candle close, confirming, once again, this lower high, if you will, if you want to view it that way. What I want to see, for what it's worth, to really call it like a high or a low, is distance between, you see how there's distance between these tops, there's distance between these lows. That's really what I want to see. I wouldn't really consider this a lower high. I would consider this, a local top in the, fact that we closed this bar below the low of the prior week, but I wouldn't really call it, a true lower high for what it's worth. So with that said, we still are technically holding below the lows of this prior swing low here. So I want to see price hold basically 37.90. If we close, a weekly bar below 37.90, I think it's very likely we get a retest, or at the very least, see a move to like 37.30, and then if that breaks, very likely back to the prior swing low. But there is hope for some upside in the sense that we put in a local low in this area right here and hold above this low. So that's what I will be looking for, and that's what the market profile in general is going to help guide us with moving into this week. It's going to help us understand where other time frame players or larger players in general are viewing a fair value of this instrument. So on the NQ weekly chart, very, very similar vibe, just waiting to see, whether or not we can hold this swing low right around 11,760. If so, very likely, a test back up to this prior swing high. If not, very likely a move back down to this prior swing low around 11,000. So that is really what I wanted to point out on the candlestick charts, and I hope that this suits you guys well and helps get you guys ready for another great trading week ahead. So with that said, I want to wish you guys a great start to your trading week. I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you guys do enjoy this content and you find value in it, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and click that bell notification to be notified every single time that we post videos here on the channel. If you would like to learn more about what we do here at the Trading Network, please check out thetradingnetwork.io, where you can purchase access to our most popular offering, the TTN Pro Trader Bundle, which includes lifetime access to our private Discord, where we live stream our trading daily, Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It also includes the access to our Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, where I teach multiple strategies for varying market conditions, including the Opportunity Zone strategy, which is our trending strategy, and the Momentum Flip strategy, which is our ranging strategy. We also teach a reversal strategy called the 3-step shift as well. And last but not least, you also get access to the Trading Network proprietary indicator package. You can also purchase these products standalone on our website in addition to one-on-one mentorship with me if you are looking for a more catered and tailored experience to your individual strengths and weaknesses as a trader. If you have any questions about the analysis that I have provided this evening or any of the products on our website, please feel free to drop a comment down below here on the video or shoot us an email at info@thetradingnetwork.io, and we will get back to you guys as soon as we possibly can and help any way we can. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this content. I appreciate you very much, and I will see you in the next video. Much love.